My name is Kathy DeSocio. I live at 8500 Tipperary. I'm here not to talk about, I am a bowling proprietor, I think you all know that. But what my question was, after all this came to our attention, I spent a lot of time studying these documents as well, and a couple questions I had were, one, the phase one of this is going to be the completion of the retention wall, and then the developer will be allowed to do his development. I think the last gentleman alluded to it as well, is what happens if we don't progress past phase one. That seems to be from what Scott and Mr. Bell said, that the preponderance of the benefit from this would come from the later phases, which was the channel development and such, which are not concluded in the first phase. So are there penalties, or are there, what kind of consequences does the developer face if they don't fulfill their portion of what they do, if they don't continue to with the rest of these phases? I think that that should be considered. I think we need to think about if this is really going to fix the flooding. How does phase one really fix the flooding? It doesn't. It just allows a developer to use a piece of property that he purchased knowing it was already in a floodplain. The other thing I noticed was on the mapping, the original development map that we saw, a preponderance of that area was not in the floodplain. When you overlay that with the new map that they have now proposed that has the red and the black lines on it, they have changed their portion of where they want the development district to be so that it does encompass enough area to meet that 63% of the area is now in the floodplain area. I don't know if they did that intentionally so that they could fit into that mold, but it kind of looks like that. And from what I understand, that is not land they already have and is not in their possession. It is just the way they proposed the TIF so that the development area that they do currently own fits into the percentages necessary to make it part of the blighted area. So those are just my questions. As a business owner, as someone who has a lot of my own personal money into developments around the city, I just want to know, I just want to feel like that everyone is on the same playing field, and I do feel for the people with the flood issues. I cannot imagine how devastating that must be, and I hope that they do get that addressed. But I'm not sure that this situation is really going to address that. I think it seems like it is a fix for the developer, and then, oh, by the way, in phase 2 and 3, if we get there, we might address the flooding issues. So, thank you.
Are there any questions? Thank you, Ms. DeSocio.